right, a very good morning to you out there. This is 32 FM 94.9, filling the world with laughter. This is the morning of the 14th of February 2023, and you're welcome to the Break of Dawn paper review. I'm Kenny Durotilu.
Good morning. My name is GBOLABO, famous school. Happy Valentine's Day, Kenny.
Happy Valentine's, GBOLABO.
And to all our listeners as well.
Yeah.
All right,
I have made the Punch newspaper, the Nation newspaper, and the Daily Post.
All right, I also have the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, Leadership newspaper, and of course the New Telegraph. All right, I'll start off very quickly with the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and there are quite a number of headlines here right on the front page of Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. And this says, "All eyes on you on 2023 polls," Buhari tells police. And that's above the main plates this morning, and you can get details of that particular story on page 28 of the paper. Coup allegation, DSS grieves Fani Kayode. My action regrettable, he says. And of course, that story is on page 2 this morning. Banks, petrol stations reject ordinary notes. Quite interesting time. And the writer says, again, Buhari meets Emefiele. And that's on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. And of course, the big story here says why elections won't hold in 240 polling units. And that's what INEC is coming up with. And that story is on page 16 this morning in the paper. And in Cross River, Atiku says restructuring will ensure more accountability. And let's see, the writer cancels campaign rally in Rivers. I did not stockpile new Naira notes. That's what Tinubu is saying, and that story is on page 13 as well. Police detain Abuja pastor preaching with AK-47. Wow. And that's also that story is on page 27 of the paper this morning. Lagos government orders coroner's inquest into Chrisland student's death. And of course, we'll take this as the last one here. Gunmen burn Imo High Court. And that story is on page 26. And that's about it on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
From the Punch, Naira deadline, banks, fuel stations reject old notes, ignore Supreme Court order. INT'L recruited teachers sacked by Adeleke stage protest. INT'L has recruited teachers sacked by Adeleke stage protest. Collapse structure, LP debunks claim as Kiamo mocks Obi. NIS debunks recruitment aptitude test on Saturday. CSOs to invade presidency. AGF over Bauer's abuse of office. LP disowns Kano governorship candidate. Many injured in US campus shooting by police. Hoodlums' reign of terror raises fear over polls in Anambra. CBN uncovers 365 million fake notes in 5 years. That's according to a report on the business and economy pages of the Punch newspaper. Whitney, protesters besiege Chrisland as government orders inquest. More stories from the Punch newspaper. Petrol ex-depot price jumps 110% in 4 months. That's a report out of the Punch. Minister rejects proposal seeking to establish new agencies. Power consumers condemn Disco's double revenue target amidst tariffs.
All right, now to the Leadership newspaper this morning. And of course, on the front page of the paper, let's look at the big story. It says scarcity. Federal government raises petrol supply evacuation to 502.21 million liters. And let's see what the story is saying. It's a total premium motor spirit, PMS, also known as petrol evacuation from various depots across the country, rose to 502.21 million liters for the 1 week period between February 4 and 10, 2023. And above the main plate, it says ignore fake news on elections postponement. That's what INEC is saying. And of course, that story has to be on page 8 of the paper this morning, talking about the Leadership newspaper. Fani Kayode recounts ordeal at DSS over coup claim. And more of the stories here on the front page of the paper also says Nigerians may rise up against their leader, Sultan warns. And of course, that story is on page 7 this morning. More of the headlines also says, and that's the big story here, says as Naira black market booms, CBN silence throws Nigerians into confusion. And let's look at what some of the writer is saying. Apex Bank, mom and Supreme Court ruling. And also here we have have supermarkets, drivers, traders reject old notes, banks give conditions. And more of the headline says PNB meets Amethele as court hears case tomorrow. Quite interesting headlines here. And of course, more still on the leadership front page this morning says gunmen bomb Imo court, police kill gun runner in Anambra. Okay, and of course, that story is on page 16 this morning. Miners beg federal government for prompt compensation over acquired factory site. And of course, our story is on page 6. And before we leave the paper, that's the leadership newspaper this morning. Police grill Abuja pastor who brandished AK-47 rifle in church. And of course, that story is on page 9. And that's the much you can take from the leadership newspaper this morning.
Taking a look at the Daily Post newspaper, cash-induced recession imminent, experts warn as naira scarcity persists. Also, this one, booked appointment with Buhari to submit letter to Kanu's release, Soludo. Real reason Atiku's campaign rally in Rivers was cancelled. Governor Wike speaking on that one. LP asks INEC to remove Lagos Rec Agbaje before elections. Some more stories. PIB and INT'L to host communities needs amendment. CSOs. Coup tweet. Fani Kayode returns to DSS Wednesday. 2023 elections. Ebonyi government shuts the schools for 2 weeks. 2023 elections crucial. Nigeria needs leaders like Murtala Mohammed, MMF. Jigawa records 367 suspected meningitis cases. I booked appointment Buhari, but already took that one. But other stories, pre-election matters. Appeal court has cleared issues of locust activist Omotayo. Accolades for Gwai. PDP as governor visits communities. I'll take one more story from the Daily Post. 2023 polls, Atiku Abubakar will garner 64% from 3 zones in North. New report claims.
All right, now to the Daily Trust newspaper. In the press, it is reminding us of 11 days to go to the elections. And let's see what the paper is saying right above. The main place says Konkuso and Kontagora urges voters to reject old order. And of course, this also says Fulani Group endorses Kola Abiola, boast of 7 million votes. I will continue oil exploration in Kolmani. That's what Tinubu is saying. And of course, still above the main plate this morning on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, Wike Atiku feud, PDP suspends presidential rally in Rivers, campaign activities forces imports to drop by 30%. Stoan is saying that. And of course, Southwest Labour Party members dump or be declare support for Tinubu. And that story appears to be on page 8 of the paper this morning. And let's look at the big story here. Banks ignore Supreme Court, reject old notes. Okay, and also the writer is saying ask customers to go to CBN. Filling stations, supermarkets accept only new currency. And more of the writer says Apex Bank issued 400 billion naira new notes. EFCC chairman is coming up with that. Silence by Buhari, CBN recipe for chaos. Okay. Right, and of course our story is on page 4 of the paper this morning. And more of the headlines also says farmers herders clashes, Sultan Habs on dialogue. And page 25 has that particular story. Kano man asks for 10 million naira to grant divorce. Okay, 26,500 people petition Christian school over students' debt. And of course, at the bottom strip of the paper this morning, still looking at the Daily Trust newspaper, we have this, and it says, elections, you are being watched. Buhari tells security agencies. And the writer says, Odua agitator, IPOB bandits activities, threats to pose. And that's what the Inspector General of Police is saying. And the last writer here says, orders CPs to keep Amotekun, Ibube Ago, CTIF under surveillance. And that's about it on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right, we'll take some commercials and we'll be back.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Showmax and Jara Air, it's given. You can get 2 months for the price of one. Oh, whoa, it's given. It's given Real Housewife and Flossom Marathon with that bling bling and shakara.
Money is never in short supply.
It's given Big Brother Titanships, passports, and binge watching vibes. It's given what's supposed to be given and overdose. Oh yeah, subscribe now to get 2 months from 1,200 Naira for a limited time only on Showmax. It's given Showmax. Sign up at showmax.com.
Kids Twisco to support their big dreams.
Twisco, power your dream.
lọ́dún yìí ó wá gba ògo tuntun tọ́sẹ̀ méjìlá ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ló nílò láti yin olúwa lórí ilẹ̀ ló mọ̀ wọ̀ challenge ìbàdàn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni o ọlọ́run ló pa aláṣẹ fún bàbá àdúrà AK-47 láti ṣílẹ̀kùn ọdún tuntun pẹ̀lú kọ́kọ́rọ́ agbára tó wà nínú èyí. tọ́sẹ̀ méjìlá la fi máa ṣe é. ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti January 12 títí wọnú oṣù kẹta March 30 ọdún yìí. láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù ní gbogbo Thursdays méjèèjìlá lórí ilẹ̀ ló mọ̀ wọ̀ tó wà ní challenge ìlú ìbàdàn. lára àwọn olórin ẹ̀mí tí ó máa wà ńbẹ̀ ni màmá Bọ́lá rẹ̀ ìlàjà Akíntúndé ọlọ́run ò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. bàbá Òjó Adé ọlọ́mọ abúlé Adùkẹ́ Gold Bísí Aláwìyé àlùkò àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. ògo tuntun ní glory la kò rí ẹ̀. gbogbo ogun tó ti gbàdúrà sí tí ó ṣe ẹ̀yìn ló máa gbẹ́ mi. ẹ fi yáyà máa bọ̀ lórí ilẹ̀ náà mọ̀ wọ̀ tó wà challenge ìbàdàn kájọ yin olúwa. tẹ́ bá ń bọ̀ láti ìwọ́rọ̀ olùtẹ́ ẹ̀dẹ́mọ̀lẹ́tẹ́ ní kọjá bridge after center school ẹ̀ ti rí wa ń bẹ̀. ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ challenge ilẹ̀ yìí ti ń bọ̀. ó dojúkọ ìkọjá Genesis díẹ̀ ni o. ẹ pè 08066581455.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Welcome back. It's still 32 FM 94.9 and it's the paper's review on Breakdown. We have Mr. Austin Uduma with us in the studios already. Good morning, Mr. Austin, and happy Val Day.
Good morning, Bolabo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning, Austin. All right, let's start off with the story that's basically across all of the papers this morning, and it has to do with the CBN, banks, fuel stations, and a bunch of other outlets. We hear rejecting old notes, ignoring the Supreme Court's order. A lot of Nigerians are worried about this. Well, what happens in this situation? How do things progress from here, Austin?
Yes, I think the situation worsened yesterday, throughout the weekend / yesterday, due to the fact that major outlets across the country, especially fuel stations, some retail shops, have refused. We've also gotten so many calls of people seeking clarification or interpretation to the Supreme Court judgment. I think far away Kano too, the Kano state government had to shut down a shopping mall who refuses to collect
old notes.
The old note.
Right.
Well, the implication of the Supreme Court judgment is just a pronouncement, a restraining order in an ex parte motion filed by the three state governments who took the Central Bank of Nigeria / the federal government to court on the deadline, which was February the 10th. Supreme Court gave a pronouncement that the two currency could coexist before the determination of the original suit, which will come up on the 15th of February. That is tomorrow.
Right.
So the implication and interpretation of that judgment is that the old and the new currency could be used side by side. You understand?
Right.
That's the implication of that currency. And don't also forget, according to the CBN Act, it states clearly that after the deadline, there will be a 7 days grace period for the money to be taken. So apart from the Supreme Court judgment, the whole thing ought to lapse on the 17th of this month. 10th, which is the official deadline,
Right.
and 7 days moratorium. Then when the CBN governor appeared before the House of Representatives, it was pointed out to him, still in the CBN Act, that after the enforcement of the deadline, that the old currency could still be redeemed in value.
Right.
We suffice to say that after all the deadline, customers and individuals who have this money can take them directly to the CBN, and CBN will redeem the value. That is the provision of the HAD. The problem now is that after the Supreme Court judgment, the Central Bank of Nigeria up until now have refused to come up with a statement. So many people do not care about the Supreme Court judgment. After all, Supreme Court is not it's not the stakeholder as far as they are concerned concerning this matter. I don't know whether you get the point I'm making.
Yeah.
The almighty, as far as this issue of currency is concerned, is the Central Bank of Nigeria. People want to, in short, at this time, people tend to want to listen to Godwin Emefiele than even the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as far as this currency is concerned. So the problem that has been created is due to the fact that the CBN has refused. Yesterday, some commercial bank also rejected the old note because they needed a directive from the central bank. They don't want
which didn't come.
Which didn't come. They don't want to collect, and at the end of the day, you tell them why did you collect. So there should be a circular all along before now, even when the deadline was still 31st of January. Right. CBN came out with a circular that bank for the last week should operate for Saturday and Sunday. So financial institutions rely majorly on CBN directive to tackle this issue. In short, Supreme Court gave judgment that the money could coexist. A court in Lagos rejected this particular old note yesterday. A court in Lagos for some filings and what have you. Right. They rejected it because the court officials, when they were approached, the clerk, they said, no, we are not just the one rejecting it. We took them to the bank. They mentioned some of these banks, and they refused to collect from us. And if they are not collecting from us, why are we still collecting? So the CBN should bail the people out by coming out with a clear directive, whether we should still continue to collect or the deadline 10th, which means that if they say we are not going to collect again, that is literally saying that, oh, the Supreme Court pronouncement does not matter. And don't also forget, Attorney General of the Federation, on behalf of the federal government, did say that they will abide by the Supreme Court pronouncement. The Supreme Court pronouncement is not a finality. That is what we should know. Right. It's just a pronouncement, a restraining order in reaction to an ex parte motion. Don't forget the word ex parte. It means that the other party was not available as at the time of obtaining that particular order. So the original summon will come up by tomorrow. So the CBN should come out to help businesses in Nigeria, because the old note, people find it difficult to get the new note, and you are saying that they can't spend the old note, and they have the old note. If care is not taken, the situation could snowball into another round of protest or crisis. So the CBN should come up with a clear directive on this issue.
All right, let's move to the issue of this PMS. And now it appears that in the southwest, the oil marketers are complaining that there is a discriminatory price for actually getting fuel at the old ex-depot price of 172 naira. And they're saying that it's not the case for other parts of the country in terms of the region. Now, why would the southwest be stifled when it comes to pump price of petrol at the depot?
Yes, if you look at this issue, the NNPC has poorly managed this issue, especially in terms of supply of the PMS, which is popularly referred to as petrol. You know, there will always be variance in price, but ex-depot price should be uniform. Don't forget, the NNPC do no longer operate their own depot across the country. They rely majorly now on private depot owners. You understand? Okay. So they should regulate the price. Ex-depot price should be the same at 172 naira per liter. That was the agreement reached about 2 weeks ago, that the marketer said, well, if we can get the official draft value for 172, nothing stopping us from dispensing at between 185 195 per liter. Now if you look at the various, because most of these products are loaded in Lagos, and when you load them in Lagos to a place like Ibadan or the entire southwest, it could take just one day for them to get there. But up north, even down to the south, some parts of the southeast, it takes a longer time, averagely 2 to 3 days for them to be able to get there. So they factor in the cost of logistics. Don't also forget, some of these trucks are powered by diesel, and diesel is on the high side. So if you look at a whole number of factors, I don't want to believe that southwest is being shortchanged as far as this issue is concerned, because if you look at it, I told you we went some places, I think about a week or two ago, in some places in Benin it was dispensed for 800 naira per liter. In Asaba, the cheapest in Asaba was around I think 450 500, the cheapest, that is Asaba. So now talk about the interland, the other areas that are far from the state capital. So it is the federal government that has created this problem through the NNPC. Let there be official S-Depot price, because it is the S-Depot price that controls the pump price, because it is what you get as S-Depot. The reason why we are having fluctuation in price is that the official S-Depot price, what you can now refer to as official pump price of 185 at 172 naira S-Depot price per liter.
And we think it's not intentional, because you can't compare a state like Lagos State with Zamfara, for instance. And now, don't you think the government is also looking
new? But we are talking about businesses in terms of logistics within the petroleum product that is not even being managed by the government. NNPC even bring this product in by proxy. They can't even bring product on their behalf, and they don't also have storage facility. They hire private storage to keep this product, and they also dispense that through private depot. And so if you look at variance in price, like I said earlier, what the government can work on, which Nigerians will accept, is work on official S-Depot price, whether the product is going to Zamfara or is going. Of course, they will now look at the possibility of factoring some of these costs. Let me tell you this for free. Even when there was no problem in the administration of petroleum products in the downstream sector, fuel have always been sold for higher prices in some parts of the country, especially south and southeast. It is not what you get in places like Oyo, Ogun, Osun that you get in some of these states, and the people have come to live with that. That's just the truth. The people have come to live with that. So the government should solve this problem once and for all. I also saw some independent marketer who sold for last week at 195 naira per liter. They've now adjusted their pump price to 270 per liter, because the government is already reneging on that particular agreement of making it available to them at 172 naira per liter. And if you cannot inculcate the independent marketer by statistics control 80% of the over 80% of the retail outlets in the country. So it is the inability of the independent marketer to dispense at this official pump price. That is why people are suffering, because few major marketers that are dispensing will be grossly inadequate to service the people. That is why you continue to find queue here and there. So if the government can make that happen, and at the end of the day, I think we are good to go.
All right, let's also look at this. You're under my watch. Buhari appears to have woken up. Some people will say from his slumber, and we're wondering that the president is more vocal now that the elections are just approaching, and he's been issuing threats now to the security apparatus. What do we make out of the actions of the president now? We've been seeing Boko Haram killing people, kidnapping, and the rest of it, and he appears too puzzled. Like, you could still remember the Kuje prison's break. He was puzzled, like many other Nigerians. Now he's issuing that kind of warning that 12 days to the elections, you must know what you're doing, and you're under my watch. What do we make out of this kind of vocal sort of sanction that the president is ready to met out?
Yes, not under his watch alone. He also said the international community is watching them. I believe that the Nigerian security operative, they are capable to complement INEC in ensuring credible election if they are not being used by politicians. The president suddenly realizes that his name is at stake because almost every sector of the economy has been bastardized by this current administration. So the president is looking for a legacy. You know, he signed the amended electoral bill into law. He became an act of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That was very good on his part. And we said that alone cannot guarantee credible poll. So you need to know what you are doing. Ensure that there is credible election in Nigeria. Perhaps that could be the only legacy of the Buhari administration to the people. So the president is gradually seeing his name being at stake. A lot of people are also calling upon him. And don't also forget too, the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So he controls the army, he directs them, so he can issue directive to them. So let's just hope and believe that at the end of the day, the Nigerian security operative will do the needful. It will not be like 2015 when we saw some military guys scaling defense in a collation center trying to help a prominent politician in the country. Nigerian politicians are very aberrant. They would definitely want to compromise the process. That is why we said that credible election does not start and end with INEC. How about politicians who know that they are not popular and they want to win election at all costs? So the president is right in this directive.
And so what happens to security? Why is the president not this vocal?
See, on the issue of general security, you can say that the president is not this vocal. I just told you earlier, I said the president name is at stake. If he fail in his security, for example, he should also not fail in his ability to deliver credible election to the people. I said perhaps this could be the legacy of the president to the people. I hope you remember when I said that, that this perhaps could be his legacy to the people. He has failed in the area of insecurity. The economy is on his knee. Then let's see if the president can give us credible election. Do you know the implication of that? Which means that someone better could come in to right whatever wrong or whatever mess that has been created for the period under review. So the president was trying to issue that statement. I think what you are looking at is that he should also extend this to some other critical area like the general insecurity in the country. Also threaten the security operative to stop the killing and maybe kidnapping of Nigeria, innocent Nigeria, here and there, all across the country, up north, in the southeast, and everywhere. And if the president can do that, of course, the country will be better for it.
All right, we'll take some messages. When we come back, we'll be opening the phone lines.
FM 94.9.
Why always Wura? Why does her quest to save her gold leave us hungry and broken?
Don't miss the new drama series, Wura, where everything is fair game. Sign up now at showmax.com.
Kò síṣẹ́ kò sówó, ebi ń pa mí, àìsí ìdáàbò, ìjìyà ojúmọ́, náírà kí ló dé? Àsìkò ìràpadà Nàìjíríà dé. Bóyá PDP, òkùnkùn ní mọ́lẹ̀, ìjẹ Gàrímù, PDP, iṣẹ́ rẹpẹtẹ, PDP, PDP, power to the people.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
It's time to enjoy fast and reliable internet connection for less.
It's time to go big in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer.
It's time to take advantage in the INT'L Home Broadband All-Time Mega Offer. Get a MiFi with up to 125 gigabyte bonus data for just 5,000 naira, or a router with up to 240 gigabyte bonus data for just 10,000 naira. Visit any INT'L shop or www.airtel.com.ng/HBB now.
INT'L, the smartphone network.
Mommy will come and put on the radio set. Don't worry, I'll tell Mommy.
Let me put on my radio set now.
Mommy, please, we want to listen to the Smart Kids show. It comes up Monday to Friday, 7:15 to 7:45 a.m. so we can prepare our minds for school work.
Okay, Smart Kids show. I love it too.
Thank you, Mommy.
Oh yes, 7:15 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. is the time. Mondays through Fridays. Join Auntie Yellow on the Smart Kids show.
Oh, I wanna build a train track. 32 FM
94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still on to the Break of Dawn Papers Review here, and this is 32 FM 94.9, and of course we're taking your comments and open the phone lines right about now.
All right, 070550949 is the number to call. You can also call 08097,949. Try any of those two numbers you can get across to us. Once again, 070550949 and 08097,949. We do have some messages on Facebook. Remember, you can drop your thoughts on Facebook as well.
All right, we take this, and this is Raji Afiz Abiola. Raja says, good morning, Kenny and GBOLABO. I don't reason why inactive or federal government and CBN on issue of ordinary notes. I think they should make their stand to know about Supreme Court verdict, inability to say anything by people to reject the old notes because they don't know if it will be collected by the banks at the end of the day.
Hello, good morning.
All right, we'll take this from Boluwati Fair Ademi Jumo says, good morning, let's unite to overcome our challenges, says APC presidential candidate. In 2015-2019, APC party and its people packaged the number one citizen to us with so many promises of promoting Nigeria to end insurgency within 6 months in office, rise up to strike in our university, stable power supply, and many more, but which none of these promises have been fulfilled close to a year in office.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is John Olarewaju.
All right, that's you. All right.
I did not know why the commercial bank refused to collect the old Naira notes. There is no any order coming from the federal government, even the CBN as a body, that they should not collect the old Naira notes. Maybe the CBN might reject this Naira note from them. Otherwise, you have not rejected it. I don't know why the CBN governor is doing like this. And it is a pity that in our nation called Nigeria, nobody can even do anything for this immediately. That see himself as a superior than all Nigerians. Why do only one person threaten the country? I don't know what kind of country we are now. That one person will be threatening us, and they will refuse to collect this thing. I put all Nigeria into confusion. But I know the history has already written about this man, and later we are going to show you. Thank you and good morning.
All right, thank you very much. 070550949 08097,000.
All right, we'll take more comments on Facebook, and this is from Miriam Yetunde says, good morning. The redesigning of some Naira notes, which has led to cash scarcity, has brought about many vices such as anger, hunger, and collapse of many small-scale businesses. I guess we'll pick another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. All right, keep trying the lines. Hopefully you get through. 08097,949. We still have some messages on Facebook
All right, let's take this from Sulaiman. Sheriff says, good morning to 32 FM crew. Worried by the Naira crisis and fuel scarcity has made life unbearable for the masses. The protracted Naira crisis has caused hunger and hunger in the land. The insensitivity of the federal government of today towards the plight of the masses is second to none. All right. Oh, okay. Moving on with that, it's quite lengthy, and it says, today, government of today towards the plight of the masses is second to none. I'm not surprised with their negligence and incapacitated of leadership style. And more coming from Facebook this morning. Balkis Onodiran says, please, who should we obey between the CBN and President Buhari and the Supreme Court of Nigeria, when even the presidency is openly disobeying the Supreme Court order or has yet to address Nigerians on the latest on the new Naira notes deadlines?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
INT'L actually is my name.
All right.
Well, I don't really understand what is happening. But I observe, even the president and the Emefiele, they are playing a satanic script. How come they don't have this, they don't implement this policy in 2018-2019 when President Muhammadu Buhari was seeking for re-election? Osinbajo was the head of money trader up and down, saying, even to an eve of the election, he came to Ibadan, came to major market to keep sharing the satanic money. So how come that they are now inflicting pains on the masses now? The old 100 naira notes, it was changed in 2014 during centenary era. Today we are still using the old one. So how come a person will just try to paint himself being clueless? In NCA before he was being attacked too, that his era was more or less like an airtime policy. If they are not ready to relinquish power, let them tell us, rather than giving people mad things like this.
All right.
There's some set of people will be politicizing it. This is beyond politics.
Okay.
This is satanic script. INT'L is my name.
All right. Thank you so much. I guess, Austin, you might want to react to some of the things the callers have said.
Yes, you make use of the word satanic repeatedly. I don't know. Maybe INT'L Akiloye is also trapped with the cash issue. Because the last time we checked, INT'L Akiloye is a vocal voice for President Muhammadu Buhari. Now that everything is becoming too satanic, I don't know. I think he's biting at that.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Benga Mario, calling from Apata.
Okay.
People are passing through a lot due to this issue of Naira redesign. Imagine yesterday I was at the police station yesterday just to buy some bread, and I saw a lady crying. So please see an adult woman. I was asking her what happened. She said she could not get money from POS, she could not get money from the bank, and she needed to travel. She could not even feed her children. From the 10K I have to transfer, I have to give her 1,000. Why she transfer 5K to me? Imagine how many people are passing through this menu on daily basis. I think the federal government should find the lasting solution to this bastard menu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and let's take more comments on Facebook. Tulokpa Adeyemi says, good morning. Vandalizing and attacking INEC and even the police facilities in some part of the country is not a good development at all, especially at this electioneering period. What should be the utmost priority of all Nigerians now is how we're going to vote in credible leaders.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Onara.
All right.
I'm so happy this morning that one of those APC apologists even calling and show his lamentation, because this thing, we want them that you stop, we enforce a failure. That's what we are experiencing now. And Mr. President promised us that we should give him 7 days, and that 7 days have been since last Friday till now. That means they are negligence is second to none for what we are facing in this country. But I want to appeal to all Nigerians, because last 2019, there are a set of people that they come out to pay that money to deceive us. Now they want to deceive us to get our vote. We should think twice, that once bitten, twice shine. That's my own this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. 070-55,949, 080-97,949. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, this is Miriam. I'm calling from Odejai.
All right.
Yeah, I would like to react on the scarcity of the news.
All right.
So I don't really know what will be the fate of urban Nigerians now that banks and filling stations are even rejecting the money. And this policy, the central government said they brought it up to correct some wrongs like vote buying and also affecting the bandits. But it's a pity that we are even seeing it we're even seeing it with the bandits already, of which we the masses don't even have it. So I don't know how the central government and the CBN will do this bullshit in putting the cash at the bank, because the more the cash lingers, this cash scarcity lingers, the more the suffering on the masses. So I only want them to do the needful. Enough of this maladministration. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Austin, before we wrap things up, I want us to touch on the Chrisland issue. What is your reaction to that particular story? We hear that there was some protest yesterday,
Yes.
and the Lagos state government has, ordered a coroner's inquest into that particular incident.
Yes, there was a closure. The Ministry of Education official got them. They refused them access into the premises. The government has ordered a coroner inquest. Such inquest is to inquire on whatever that could have happened to that young, promising girl. If you also look at it, the death, from the comment from the family sources, the death is looking like from unnatural causes. That is the reason for the coroner. Right. See, if you run a school, this is not the first time Chrisland will be in the news. You understand? For the bad reasons.
Right.
Anything can happen. Accident can happen. But the parents reserve the right to know
what happened,
what exactly happened to their children. It is risky for all of us that are parents, that we have children that go to school. They should be able to account for whatever that happened. If it's of natural cause, there's not